Greetings, everyone, and welcome. July the 28th, 2025, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have breaking news coming in from Donald Trump. I shared with you last night just some of the images of Ruski Mir, and I suggested that this week could be very important, and it is kicking off to be that way. But I'm going to come to it from a different angle a little bit. We've just heard Donald Trump sitting there with Starmer say that he is done with Putin. I don't want to talk to Putin 10 to 12 days. I'm going to give you the facts only. I've got 3 video clips I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to explain to you why there is much more said here than just 10 or 12 days. Facts only. And yes, Vladimir Putin will say, great news. Let's get this done and over with. But Donald Trump dropped some information in one of the 3 video clips that I'm going to share with you that is quite alarming in my opinion, and I look forward to hearing your opinion on it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and commenting. As I said, this is breaking news, and we will give you the facts only. Let's go starting here. He just stated, and I will play the video with subtitles for you, I'm going to change my deadline to 10 or 12 days. So if we're generous and start counting from tomorrow, that puts it around August the 9th being the 12th day, August the 7th being the 10th day. And yes, I will be in Ukraine during all of that time and reporting to you the updates from inside Ukraine. Now, what is the immediate effect of this statement? I can tell you that the ruble has risen against the dollar, which in general benefits consumers inside Russia, importers, foreign sellers, but it hurts exporters, oil, etc. So this is the initial reaction to Donald Trump's statement. Now, what you're here for is this. What did Donald Trump say? 3 statements that I'm going to share with you. The first one is about 10 to 12 days. Where he makes that change. The second one is, I don't want to talk to Putin. And ladies and gentlemen, very important. I'll explain to you why. And then third, this is the one that's interesting. We had a plan. So here we go. Clip 1.
Earlier you said that you were going to change the deadline from 50 days. So what is your new deadline? What
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
So there you have it. Of course, you can hear him in his depressed mode. We're going to change it to 10 or 12 days. We don't see any progress being made. Of course, progress is not being made because you've done nothing to stop it. Absolutely nothing. In fact, in the Russian viewpoint, you're selling weapons to Ukraine. So completely in their viewpoint is you are escalating it. And this is what they're going to be saying. Guys, this is just coming out. I'll be covering the Russian response for you later. The Ukrainian response, make sure you've got that notification bell on because there's going to be a lot of fallout from these statements. But not just this one. I'm just going to, we're going to make it 10 or 12 days. Let's get to the second video clip now that I think is also very important from the Kremlin viewpoint. I don't want to talk to Putin. Oh, I can tell you right now, Lavrov is going to run with this like a man in a race. Here, listen to it yourself.
I'm not so interested in talking anymore. He talks, we have such nice conversations, such respectful and nice conversations, and then people die the following night with a missile going into a town and hitting, recently I guess the nursing home, but they hit other things. Whatever they hit, people die.
Well, of course, whatever they hit, people die. And we heard the information. Did Melania get to him and cause some empathy? I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point because did you hear what he just said? 10 to 12 days. So we have that documented. But now I'm not interested in talking to Putin anymore. So we have a complete shift from the administration that said, I'm the only one that will speak to Putin. And Russia was responding with people like Dmitriev saying, listen, this is the way it should be. Finally, somebody talking to us. And we had Lavrov saying the same things. Even Putin said, they didn't want to talk to us, but I'm talking with Trump. But now Trump sounding very dejected. I don't want to talk with Putin anymore. I'm not making any headway. Of course you're not making any headway because you do not understand how to deal with the Soviet Union. You do not understand how to deal with Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, and you have a horrible team around you with no expertise in this area whatsoever. Zero. Call Michael McFaul. Let him give you some advice on this instead of Steve Witkoff. That would be a great idea. Now, let's go to the third clip, and this one for me is the most telling, guys. There was something afoot. There's obviously, they had some kind of backdoor deal. I firmly believe that. I've never talked about it because I didn't have the facts, but now I have the facts, and we had a plan. Listen to this.
We can all sense your frustration with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Do you think he has been lying to you about his intentions in Ukraine?
Well, I don't want to use the word lying. All I know is we'd have a good talk, and it seemed on, let's say, 3 occasions, it seemed that we were going to have a ceasefire and maybe peace, and you divide it up and you do whatever you have to do, that obviously to get to the end. And all of a sudden, missiles are flying into Kiev and other places. And I say, what's that all about? I spoke to him 3-4 hours ago, and it looked like we were on our way. And then I'd say, forget it, and I'm not going to talk anymore. You know, this has happened on too many occasions, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Somebody has licked the red off of his candy. I can tell you that. He doesn't like it. He's frustrated. Why? Because, well, I don't want to call him a liar, but every time he told me something, he did the opposite. I think that's a liar. By the way, did you hear it in there? We had 3 different times where we thought we had the ceasefire. We thought that we had a plan in place, and then all we would have to do is divvy it up, and we'd be done with this. So you understand what he's saying there, ladies and gentlemen. That means Ukraine has no voice in this. What we would do, we just give away the Ukrainian territory. We do something to make Ukraine happy. We capitulate to Russia's demands. And, you know, we've had that there for three times. And I don't know what happened, but 4 hours later, he's sending missiles again. Why? Because he wants it all. You have a very, very poor understanding of what is happening there, but right there, he made the statement that I've been waiting to hear. I just had a feeling that there was a backdoor deal done between Washington and Moscow. You don't have Kirill Dmitriev getting in a plane, coming in, walking to the White House, and you don't have a plan afoot. But the reality is Russia wants it all. And they recognize that Donald Trump and the administration, the White House, doesn't have any way at all to deal with them at this level. I remind you that this is on the footsteps, on the heels rather, right after the reports from Reuters that the sanctions aren't going to be that aggressive against Russia at the 50 days or now the 10, 12 or whatever it may be on the secondary front of China and Iran. And then yesterday we have the friendship agreement, 90-day pause on the tariffs with China on the second in regard. And I'm assuming that would even include the secondary tariffs that would come along with anything that the United States does against Russia. So we'll see. So I stand behind this right here. I think it's good news. Good news for Vladimir. Why? Because Trump played his hand. Trump played his cards. Putin knows exactly. He already knew, but he knows exactly where the United States stands. And he can get on with waging war with his allies and axis of evil. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be following all of the breaking news on this, the responses from Ukraine and Russia. Thank you for being here. You've got it. That's the story completely as of this morning. Be blessed.